Welcome back to Mike's Monsters. Today we're taking a look at some figures from a Chinese company, Nanmu Studio, with the Smart Series Raptor 2.5, the Shadow Blade version, and the Tiger Blade versions, which are totally not Jurassic Park and the Lost World Jurassic Park Raptors. But you can clearly see that they are based on the designs from that movie. These are just not Jurassic Park licensed figures. They do make Jurassic Park and Jurassic World licensed figures though, in the Dino Dream line, which looks fantastic. These are my first figures from this company, so I'm pretty eager to check them out because I heard nothing but great things. And with Jurassic World Rebirth right around the corner, it's coming to theaters next week at the time of this upload. Right now feels like the perfect time to look at it. So let's go into the long grass and check out these Raptors. These are both the exact same figure, just different color paint schemes. So I won't be going over the articulation on both figures. Instead, I'm just going to focus on one. We will look at the details and paint for both later on in the video though. We're going to start off with the Shadow Blade Raptor, which is in the original Jurassic Park color scheme. The box features a window display with artwork of the Raptor on front of it in its current paint scheme. And as you can see, there are no Jurassic Park branding or icons on the box. It's like, it literally looks like a Jurassic Park Raptor, but they do not have these as licensed figures. I wouldn't be surprised if down the road we see licensed versions of these figures. On the back of the box, you get a nice full body shot of the Raptor with some more detail shots on the side of the box. They look just like the movie and may be the best representation of a Jurassic Park Raptor designed by the Stan Winston team in figure form. These are just absolutely beautiful figures. It's great to finally have a super screen accurate articulated Jurassic Park Raptor after all of this time. These Raptors sit at about 13.8 inches long, and when they stand at about 5.1 inches. Next up is the Tiger Blade version, which the naming makes sense because the Raptors in The Lost World had a tiger stripe-like design on their skin. The box is identical to the Shadow Blade one, instead having the Tiger Blade paint scheme on the render on the front of the box, and a different image of the Raptor on the back of the box, and some different detail shots on the other side too. This is just another beautiful figure. The Raptor designs from the first two films are my personal favorite. I like Jurassic Park 3, but anything after that I haven't been the biggest fan of the Raptor designs. Maybe Jurassic World Rebirth will change that for me. These figures look incredibly accurate. And I mean, I don't know if they're down to every bump on their body that being accurate and the exact paint matching exactly where it needs to sit from the suits or the animatronics, but just in hand, without reference, these feel like and look like Jurassic Park Raptors, and it's just so amazing. They look like they pounced right out of the movie. There's wonderful sculpting on the skin textures, the eyes, the claws, and everything has amazing details, especially the teeth, which are sharp. One thing to note though, and they list this on the website that I purchased from, that the joints will have paint chipping in them because there is paint on top of the joints. It's not the end of the world. It's happened with a lot of figures I own. They do state ahead of the time, though, that they give you a warning that it's going to happen. And it did. There were flakes of paint all over me after the first movement a couple of times of the joints. And even just like moving the hands here and there, there's just pieces that flake off. But the overall paint on the rest of the body, it's on there. It's beautiful. It hasn't chipped off or anything like that on mine. And they just look great. These Raptors are articulated, but they are not extremely articulated. They can move well though. I highly, highly, highly recommend heating up the joints before moving them though, because these figures came out of the box very stiff. I'll explain in more detail why you should definitely heat these up later on in the video too. Just the joints though, you don't need to heat the whole figure up, just the points that you need to move around. It'll give you a lot more range of motion if you give it a little bit of heat treatment. The head can look up and down a bit thanks to a few cuts at the base of the head, middle and bottom of the neck. There's a little tilt side to side in the neck and head joints, and it is able to look left and right very well, even almost over the shoulder at times. There are joints in the shoulders, elbows, and wrists. And you can see here that the hands tend to pop out really easily on my figures, but it's really easy to just pop it back in. But I do recommend heating these up because especially with the paint chipping and the paint being over the joint, it helps break the joint up a little bit. And if you're wondering how to heat it up, a little bit of a hair dryer or running it under a hot water faucet for a little while, maybe 30 seconds or so, not too long, it will loosen up that joint and you can work it very easily. The tail is rubber with a bendy wire for posability. I do get a little nervous with bendy wires in figures over time, but this one seems sturdy for now, and I'll have to see how it holds up over the years. But for now, I'm not too worried about it at the moment. As you can see too, the tail does pop off easily, and they don't come attached in the box, so you just have to put it on once you get the figure, but it's really easy to pop it right back in if it pops off because you may have moved it too far. It's not broken or anything, it just popped off. You can also see the little holes used for the wire on the side of the tail too here. There's a slight bend at the midsection of the Raptor, giving it a little bit more up and down motion along with some side to sides, but not a lot. The legs have a good swivel and tilt at the hip, with a few joints in the knees and ankles of the Raptor. And again, heat these joints up on these girls. I'm gonna harp this one, just so you don't run into what I had happen to me, which I'll show you later in the video. If anything falls off though, just pop it back in with the joints, because as you can see here, the leg popped off while I was moving it, and with a little bit of pressure, I put it back in. It's not too hard. There's a little rocker side to side with the ankles, but the coolest thing about the feet is the large sickle claw being articulated. It has some movement, and I love that it can move like this. It's such an awesome addition to the figure. I did not know it was able to do that when I was purchasing it. And finally, the mouth can open and close thanks to the hinged jaw, which reveals the absolutely stunning teeth. They are sculpted so nicely, and they are sharp. I've never seen such nice teeth on a small scale figure for a Jurassic Park dinosaur like this. The figure comes with a stand to help it stay standing, but I haven't found a use for it yet. It doesn't hold the Raptor up very well because the Raptors have a really weird distribution of weight. The front of them is heavier than the back of them, so maybe I can latch the tail to keep it standing, but usually I'm having to find the right balance with the feet on the ground and the tail out and the head up. Just getting in the right position and everything, it can stand on its own, but I can't get the stand to hold the Raptor up as a jumping pose or anything like that. I would have to use another stand that I have in storage or something like that. But these ones, I'm not really sure why they came with them, besides maybe that they help the Raptors not fall forward. But even then, I'm having a hard time with the weight because the stand is not that heavy. And here is the big reason why I say to heat up these figures. While doing a photo shoot for these Raptors for this video, I broke the wrist joint inside the arm of the Tiger Blade Raptor while trying to swap out a hand for a shot. I didn't give it enough heat treatment, and realistically, I didn't give it much at all. This one I hadn't done yet, and I was rushing, and I shouldn't have. And because of that, I paid the price. So be extremely careful with these figures. I am not blaming Nanmu Studio here. This is all my own doing, and I should have been more careful. Usually when a figure breaks on me, which is very rare, it's 9 times out of 10 my own doing. Even with the broken piece, I still think it's an awesome figure, and I'm not gonna let it ruin my day or get too upset about it or scream about it on social media like some people do when their toys break. I learned my lesson, it was my own doing. I pushed it too far. And now for a size comparison. First up, we have an Amber Collection Dr. Malcolm, which actually scales pretty well with the Raptors here. To compare even more, here's a smaller scale of Dr. Malcolm in the Hammond Collection line. But now let's compare to the other articulated Raptors that I have in my collection with an Amber Collection Jurassic Park Raptor. The Nanmu Raptors are a very big step up in quality, sculpt, and pretty much across the board here. Now we've got a mini blue from the Jurassic World mini dino blind bags that came out a couple of years ago, along with a little bumpy that came from a Jurassic World Dominion dino set. And finally, an Amber Collection Jurassic Park Rex, who's definitely much bigger than the Raptors, but I'd say the scale isn't exactly correct here, and it's not big enough for what would actually be in scale for these movie Raptors. Now for a little toy photography. I didn't get as much photos as I usually do this time around, as my main camera is actually in repair at the moment, and I was using one of my old backup cameras for this photo shoot, and during this shoot is when I broke the wrist on the Raptor. After trying to fix it and everything like that, which I wasn't able to do, I just never got back to shooting any more shots. So I only have these 2 photos this time around instead of about 5 or 6 like I usually do. But once I get my main camera back from repair, I'm gonna shoot a lot more photos of these girls. I bought them from a website called Lana-Time Shop, and they were priced about $59.99 each, about 60 bucks, with no extra fees, just a little bit of tax, and it shipped from China, and they came in about 2 weeks. But I want to note, this was before any of the tariffs came into play, and I'm not sure what the final price would be after all these tariff fees are applied nowadays. I do see that they are available on Big Bad Toy Store, but again, I do not know what the final cost is. They even state on there that there will be a tariff fee added. So just for some final thoughts on these figures, they are just absolutely beautiful like I've mentioned before. I highly recommend them for any Jurassic Park or Jurassic World fan who collects figures from these films. These are the best representations I've seen of the Raptors in articulated form, and I definitely plan on adding more Nanmu pieces to my Jurassic Park collection in the future. I probably even have the intent to replace all of my older Mattel figures because these are just so much more beautiful, screen accurate, and just better looking figures. But again, be careful with them as they are fragile. But a lot of figures are fragile out there, so being careful with your figures should be a given. Even if I broke one, I can still say that I recommend these Raptors if you're a fan of the franchise. You'll find no better versions out there unless you go with statues, which is not a bad thing either. I love these Raptors, and I'm very happy to have them in my Jurassic Park collection. So those are my thoughts on the Nanmu Raptors here. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you have any of these Raptors yourself, or any of the other dinosaurs from their lines? They have some what look like Indominus Rexes, Indoraptors, other dinosaurs from the movies that are not licensed, but they still are obviously the designs. They look beautiful. Are you going to get any, and do you have some? If you're seeing Jurassic World Rebirth when it comes out, or if you're one of the lucky ones who have been able to see it with those early screenings I've heard about, let me know what you thought of it in the comments below. I'm pretty stoked to check it out. I've seen every Jurassic Park movie in the theater. The first one, I was 5 years old in 1993, and I'll never forget it. It's the first memory of seeing a movie in the theater. So I'm stoked to see the next one. It's been my tradition to see every Jurassic Park and Jurassic World movie in theaters, even if I haven't really liked the Jurassic World movies myself. I've done a massive update to my TeePublic shop with tons of new designs from my toy photography, and I've also added the 2 new Raptor photos from this video. If you're interested in picking up a print or a shirt or a hat or a phone case or one of the many other items that I have on my TeePublic shop, any purchase helps this channel a lot. Make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Share it with friends who are thinking about picking up these Raptors if they have been on the fence about them. You can hear my thoughts about Jurassic World Rebirth after I've seen it on my social media accounts. Maybe even I'll do a review here. Make sure you subscribe for that. But if you do want to follow me on social media, make sure you check out my description below. Thank you so much for watching Mike's Monsters. I truly appreciate having you here, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.